Hello, folks. We're going to look at some Eerie Publications monster magazines here. Going to start at the beginning with Weird number one, and I'm going to give you some details on it. But first, let me show you this real quick. Now, this is an old list, and I need to redo these, and it's still in effect pretty much. This is the way I try to keep track of these these Eerie publications, because they never listed issue numbers. They just listed volumes and then issue numbers. And a lot of times they would start at a later number, and sometimes they'd leave numbers out. So I did this. This is the way I try to keep up with my comic books and monster mags. Cross-index this, like this is issue 1 and 2 and 3 and 11 and this 10, 11, 12, such like that. So what I did was I wrote down the volume and the issue number at the top there, very small. And of course I put the grades and all that. But, that's not that important to me, really, the grades. But this gives me a true issue number, which I also wrote down on the labels on each one that's on the Mylar bag. And the true issue numbers, like this volume 1 number 10 is number 1. Volume 1 number 11 is number 2, and so forth. Then at number 4 it goes to volume 2 number 1 and such. Now even that is not accurate, but it's close. It's pretty close. Because according to this book by Mike Howlett that lists every Eerie pub ever published, according to his list of weird, there are 3 of these that I have listed here that are not in that and probably don't exist. But even he says they might exist, because people are discovering this stuff all the time. It's really confusing to try to keep up with. Anyway, that's the way I try to do it, and so far it's worked okay. Now let's get to the mag here. This is the first issue of Weird. And the inside front cover is an introduction of, the cover is by Carl Burgos. The inside front cover is the introduction of Morris the Caretaker, which is really an ad for proposed magazines. There's a new 8-page story called Frankenstein, and the story is by Roger Elwood, and the art is by Carl Burgos. The rest of the issue is reprints. There's a reprint, a 6-page story called Coward's Curse from Haunted Thrills number 8, a 5-page story called Deadly Pickup from Voodoo number 16. All this is from old horror comics, like pre-code horror, There's a 6-page story called Doomed from Voodoo number 15. 6-page story called The Devil's Bride from Haunted Thrills number 16. There is a 5-page story called The Creatures from the Deep from Voodoo number 17. 6-page story called The Terror of Akbar from Strange Fantasy number 10. And a 7-page story called The Trumpet of Doom from Haunted Thrills number 14. Okay, this is the very first Eerie publication. The cover artwork appears to be unfinished. Pencil lines remain unerased. The frontis introduces Morris. It's the only time his name appears in a pub. The page also uses a full page from Coward's Curse and plugs magazines that never came out. The word magazine, though blacked out, is still legible. Published from Robert Farrell's address. He is listed as publisher alongside Burgos editor's credit and Irving Foss art direction. Alex Sanchez, Howard Seligman, and Roger Elwood's name appeared in many of the countrywide mags at this time, and their involvement in the actual publication of this magazine is doubtful. Roger Elwood's story credit for Frankenstein is the only story writing credit ever on any Eerie Pub horror comic. It was removed for the story's only reprinting in Tales from the Tomb, Volume 1, from January 1970. There are no ads. Every page is devoted to comics. Burgos supplies the nice contents page illo. Now we move on. Now this is Weird number 2. And it is Volume 1, number 11. This cover is by Bob Powell. Inside front cover, Morris Weird Facts, art by Carl Burgos. Has a reprint, 6-page Web of the Widow from Haunted Thrills number 16. The rest of these are reprints. 5-page Scream No More My Lady from Fantastic number 10. 5-page story called Fangs of Fear from Strange Fantasy number 12. 5-page story I the Coffin from Fantastic Fears number 7. And 7-page story Murder on the Moor from Haunted Thrills number 10. And there we have Weird number 4, which is Volume 2, number 1. Okay, okay, I want to be thorough. It's continued on the next page. I'm using this book, Weird Indexes of Eerie Publications, and by Mike Howlett, and continued on the next page is the information for that issue I just showed. Reprint Be My Ghost, 5-page story from Fantastic Fears number 8. Reprint Monster in the Mist, 5-page stories from Haunted Thrills number 17. Reprint Night of Terror, 5-page story from Voodoo number 16. Reprint Little Red Riding Hood and the Werewolf, 6-page story from Fantastic Fears number 8. Okay, some notes here. This is the first in a very small handful of covers painted by Bob Powell. Let me put that back up there so you guys know what I'm talking about here. Elwood's name is no longer in the credits. The spiffy Burgos contents page illustration is replaced with teaser panels from last year's stories, or from last issue's stories. The table of contents doesn't list everything, but covers with plus other ghoulish tales. The stories are all Ajax Farrell reprints, and again, no ads. Now, we move on to Weird number 4. It's Volume 2, number 1. This is this cover is by Johnny Bruck and Carl Burgos. Interior front cover, Morris Strange Beliefs, art by Burgos. Reprint Tiger Tiger, 7-page story from Haunted Thrills number 18. Reprint Nightmare Island from 5-page story from Voodoo number 15. Reprint 3 in a Grave, 8-page story from Haunted Thrills number 8. Reprint Beast of Baghdad, 6-page story from Voodoo number 9. Reprint They Couldn't Die, 7-page story from Voodoo number 13. Reprint Fatal Scalpel, 7-page story from Haunted Thrills number 5. Reprint Corpses of the Jury, 8-page story from Voodoo number 5. Okay, he's got some notes for this one as well. The handgun and robot in the foreground are by Johnny Bruck, and they originally appeared on Perry Rodan 131. Das Versteck in der Zukunft, February 1964. It looks like a Burgos monster and victim in the background. There's a big banner under the title screaming, told in new, chilling picto fiction. Yep. It would appear on every subsequent issue through March 1978. Sanchez and Seligman are gone from the credits and have been replaced by Perry Rosso for this issue only. Burgos has started adding a lot to the reprints, adding new figures, and in the ghoul, reducing the size of the panels of the splash to accommodate a larger monster. The artwork does not go onto the back cover. It is replaced by an ad for the Batman color projector. Offer payable to the countrywide office. Yeah, there's a lot of info here, and this video is going to have it's going to be a little bit long for the number of issues covered, but I wanted to be thorough here. Now, this is Weird number 5, Volume 2, number 2, April 1967, covered by Carl Burgos. Interior front cover, Morris Weird Cures, art by Burgos. Reprint, Fiends from the Crypt, 8-page story from Fantastic Fears number 8. Reprint, Dying is So Contagious, 7-page story from Haunted Thrills number 14. Reprint, Terror in the Attic, 6-page story from Strange Fantasy number 13. Reprint, Doom at the Wheel, 7-page story from Fantastic number 10. Reprint, Pit of Horror, 7-page story from Haunted Thrills number 6. Reprint, The Corpse Who Killed, 6-page story from Haunted Thrills number 7. Reprint, Cult of the Cruel, 7-page story from Voodoo number 17. The publishing address moves over to the well-established countrywide residence of 150 Fifth Avenue, New York. Farrell is no longer listed or presumably involved. The only credits are those of Burgos and Irving Foss. The table of contents is once again out of sequence. And there's a new sidebar illustration, which is a highlight collage of Ajax's greatest hits. Except for the Morris frontis, the contents are all Ajax reprints. The back cover is the Batman projector again. Okay, now Irving Foss was Myron Foss' brother, and he shows up in the credits throughout all this. So, it was Myron Foss that was at the helm of all this, and his brother was Irving Foss. Just make sure we get all that straight. Now, this is volume 2, number 3, and I've got it as number 6. Cover by Bob Powell. Interior front cover, Morris Weird Facts Part 1, art by Burgos. Reprint, Horror in the Mind, 9-page story from Haunted Thrills number 2. Reprint, Ghoul for a Day, 7-page story from Voodoo number 5. Reprint, Terror Unlimited, 6-page story. Retitled Horror Unlimited, which is misspelling unlimited, from Voodoo number 16. Reprint, The Gruesome Garden, 6-page story from Haunted Thrills number 13. Reprint, When the Sea Goes Dry, 8-page story from Strange Journey number 1. Reprint, Rendezvous with Doom, 4-page story from Haunted Thrills number 13. Reprint, Zombie Bride, from 8-page story from Voodoo number 2. The back cover is Morris Weird Facts Part 2, art by Burgos. In the notes, Mel Linney is listed as publisher, no ads. There's another new table of contents sidebar collage. He really goes into detail with all the particulars in this book. Highly recommended if you're into this stuff. Now this is number 9. This is volume 2, number 6. April 1968. Cover by Carl Burgos. Interior front cover, Morris Weird Stuff, art by Burgos. Reprint, Careless Corpse, 7-page story, Fantastic Fears number 8. Reprint, Dearest Deadest Dummy, 8-page story from Haunted Thrills number 6. Reprint, The Needless Night, 6-page story from Midnight number 2. Reprint, Hands of Terror, 6-page story from Haunted Thrills number 5. Reprint, Horribly Beautiful, 8-page story from Voodoo number 11. Reprint, Fate Laughs at Clowns, 7-page story from Fantastic number 10. Reprint, Death's Shoes, 6-page story from Voodoo number 9. In the notes, it says the inside back cover gives way to a house ad for the Great West, Countrywide's Burgos edited Western magazine. The subscription offer asks for funds to go to St. Louis, Missouri, Great West editorial address, through early 1969. It was where many of Foss magazines of the time were printed. And this jumps to number 13. I really wish I had all of these, but you know, these things have gotten expensive over the years, but I still occasionally pick some up here and there. This is volume 2, number 10. December 1968. Cover by Carl Burgos. Yeah, getting into some gore there. Interior front cover, Morris Weird Cures. Art by Burgos from Weird 467. 2 pages. So they've already started reprinting some of that stuff from themselves. Reprint Idol of Evil, 7-page story from Voodoo number 10. Reprint Death on Ice, 8-page story from Strange Fantasy number 6. Reprint Fear of the Witch, 5-page story from Haunted Thrills number 15. Reprint Our Green-Eyed Princess of Dumbriel, 7-page story from Strange Journey number 2. Reprint A Hole in the Sky, 7-page story from Strange Journey number 2. Reprint Torture Garden, 8-page story from Voodoo number 13. Reprint Mirror of Death, 6-page story from Strange Fantasy number 9. Notes, oh dear, this is a Morris reprint. Mel Lenning's name is finally gone, just Burgos and Irving remain. And here is number 15. That's that weird cover where the creep in question is wearing someone else's head on his head, upside down. Let's see, that is volume 3, number 2. And that is May 1969. Cover by Chick Stone. Yeah, I told you Stone gored it up in this. Interior front cover, house ad for horror mags. Reprint Escape from Hell, 4-page story from Fantastic Fears number 5. Reprint Terror Town, 5-page story from Strange Fantasy number 12. Reprint Blood in the Sky, 8-page story from Haunted Thrills number 11. Reprint The Empty Coffin, 6-page story, retitled The Spiteful Spirit from Voodoo number 5. Reprint Monster Mill, 6-page story from Haunted Thrills number 6. Reprint Witch or Widow, 6-page story from Voodoo number 14. Reprint Tortured Travelogue, 7-page story from Voodoo number 9. Reprint Zombie Vengeance, 6-page story, retitled Voodoo Vengeance from Haunted Thrills number 12. The notes. Am I sick because I think this cover is hilarious? It's one of my favorites, to be sure. Ezra Jackson is now on board and the gore quotient is significantly increased. There are plenty of ripped cheeks for your viewing entertainment. And I kind of edited out the F word there. I've got nothing against it myself. I know that some people do, and I just want to try to keep it clean, you know, for this channel. Hopefully you won't be hearing any F-bombs on here. I've said enough of them in my life, but I'm going to try to keep them off of here, okay? So there we go with that. Yeah, I was in the Army, F-bomb City. Okay, this is number 19. Volume 4, number 1. This cover is by Bill Alexander. Now we're getting into some of the classic vampires, and there's a hunchback dwarf. Yeah, a lot of stake driving happened in these mags. Usually it was monster on monster violence too, with some victim screaming on a table somewhere or bound somehow. Okay, anyway, interior front cover, house ad for horror mags. The Vampire Witch, 7-page story, art by Fraga. Redraw, The Witch's Curse from Weird Mysteries number 8. The Sewer Werewolves, 7-page story, art by Dick Ayers, redraw, Terror in the Streets, Beware number 8. The Blob, art by Ezra Jackson, redraw, Mind Over Matter from Weird Mysteries number 5. Yeah, a lot of times they took, the older stories and they gored them up a little bit more by adding more blood to them in these redraws. Okay, Demon, 5-page story, art by Reynoso, redraw, The Witch Wore White from Witch's Tales number 8. Devil's Ghouls, art by Fraga, 4-page story, redraw from a story called Premonition from Weird Mysteries number 8. The Witch's House is Haunted, 6-page story, art by Dick Ayers, redraw, The Haunter, Weird Horrors number 4. Death Trap, 7-page story, art by Fraga, redraw, The Man Who Bribed Death from Witchcraft number 4. Reprint, Dead of Fear, number 8, Strange Fantasy, number 4, 2 pages. Note, this is the only printing of Ezra Jackson's The Blob. And jumps to number 25. That is volume 5, number 1. And that is February 1971. And this cover is by Johnny Bruck. Of course, it's Perry Rodan swipe. Anyway, it contains Dead Man's Hand, 6-page story, art by Reynoso, redraw, Death's Revenge, Mysterious Adventures number 16. The Swamp Monster, 7-page story, art by Munoz, I should say. Redraw, The Phantom of Lonesome Swamp, Mysterious Adventures number 6. Feast for Rats, 7-page story, art by Stepancic. Redraw, Return from the Dead, Mysterious Adventures number 3. Voodoo Terror, 7-page story, art by Chick Stone, 2 pages. How Sad for Horror Mags. Better Off Dead, 5-page story, art by Warame. Redraw, Bum Ticker, Weird Mysteries number 8. Reprint, Devil Flower, 8-page story from Voodoo number 7. Man of Evil, 7-page story, art by Torre Repiso. Redraw, The Vultures of Doom from Mysterious Adventures number 12. In notes, the cover originally appeared on Perry Rodan number 51, Jag nach dem Leben, August 1962. Man of Evil, along with 2 stories in Strange Galaxy the same month, represents Hernan Torre Repiso's first Eerie Pub work. Okay, this is number 26, volume 5, number 2 from April 1971. Cover by Johnny Bruck. Contains The Devil Statues, 7-page story, art by Fraga, redraw, The Night the Statues Walk from Web of Mystery number 19. The Wax Witch, 7-page story, art by Churchiara, redraw, From the Graves of the Unholy, Web of Mystery number 17. Reincarnation, 6-page story, art by Fraga, redraw, Stone's Throw from Eternity, Weird Mysteries number 1. And this is the second printing. Text, Zibiko, 3-page story, art by Ezra Jackson, The Night Wire by H.F. Arnold. Morris Weird Facts, 1 page, art by Burgos from Weird, volume 4, or from Weird, April 1966. 2 pages, or the second print, I'm sorry. How Sad for Horror Mags. And then reprint, King of Hades, 7-page story from Voodoo number 11, 3rd print. Weird Vengeance number 5, art by Warame, redraw, Death Takes a Holiday, Weird Mysteries number 1, second printing. Reprint The Bloody Stream number 5, retitled The One That Got Away, Weird Mysteries number 8, second printing. Reprint The Hanging Ghoul, 6 pages, retitled The Ghoul's Bride, Voodoo number 6, second printing. The cover originally appeared on Perry Rodin 156, Lemmy und der Krotenwolf, it's German. August 1964. Bruck's inspiration for the stitched-up ghoul came from the cover of number 27 in the I Racconti di Dracula series of books in Italy, La Lega del Adila, cover by Mario Caria, 1962. This text story is the only case of author and original story title being mentioned in the magazine. Number 27. And like I said before, the total number, this, according to my list, this is the 27th issue of Weird. It could very well be like the 25th issue. It depends on whether or not those on my list even exist. So it's still up in the air. The hard number is the volume number and the issue number below it. That's what's printed in the magazine. That is volume 5, number 3, and it's from June 1971. The cover by Johnny Bruck. The Beast from Below, 7-page story, art by Dick Ayers. Redraw, The Monster from the Deep, Web of Evil, number 20. The Sorcerer, 7-page story, art by Churchiara. Redraw, The Man Who Dies Tomorrow, Web of Mystery, number 25. The Evil One, 7-page story, art by Munoz. Redraw, The Keeper of the Flames, Web of Mystery, number 25. How Sad for Horror Mags. Text, Web of Terror, 4 pages, art by Ezra Jackson. The Strange Case of Pascal by Roger Eugene Ulmer. The Slimy Snake Man, 7-page story, art by Larry Warame. Redraw, The Snake Man, Chamber of Chills, number 22. It's a second printing. Witch's Nightmare, 6-page story, art by Reynoso. Redraw, The Witch's Tale, Weird Mysteries, number 4, second printing. Night of Terror, 5-page story, art by Cassaday. Redraw, Shock, Witch's Tales, number 20, second printing. Satan's Cat, 4-page story, art by Fraga. Redraw, First Come, First Serve, Weird Mysteries, number 2, second printing. Note, the cover originally appeared on Perry Rodin number 236, Im Kampf der Gestalten. Gotta keep from gagging when I try to make it sound German. March 1966. Nothing against German, you know. I mean, it's just it's hard to say for us. That's all. This is my friend Eric's all-time favorite cover. A close inspection of Ayers, The Beast from Below, shows that Carl Burgos pasted up new art every time the beast head was in frame. Even a consummate professional like Dick Ayers was not immune to Burgos' tinkering. Hey look, no Ajax reprints. Here is number 28 of Weird. It is volume 5, number 4. That one's in lower grade. That's okay. You know, these Eerie Pubs almost begged to be in lower grade because they were treated like such trash for so long. But anyway, this cover is by Johnny Bruck. The Beast, a 7-page story, art by Munoz. Redraw, The Beast of Skeleton Island from Web of Mystery number 13. The Vampire Files, 7-page story, art by Fraga. Redraw, The Improved Kiss. Weird Terror from Weird Terror number 8. Text, Spook Coffin, 6 pages. Art by Ezra Jackson. The Black Laugh by William J. Mockey. The Mummy, 7-page story. Art by Macanio. Redraw The Arm of Tatramagus. Web of Mystery number 12. Ghoul's Graveyard, 8-page story. Art by Reynoso. Redraw Custodian of the Dead. Beware, Terror Tales number 1, 2nd printing. Reprint, Fear of the Witch, 5-page story from Haunted Thrills number 15, 3rd printing. They were getting into the multiple printings already with this. It's just 1971. Reprint, Eerie Bones, 8-page story, Haunted Thrills number 4, 3rd printing. Notes, the cover originally appeared on Perry Rodin number 99, Ein Früh der Menschen, July 1963. The Mummies is the first pub appearance of Alberto Macanio, an artist who would become a mainstay in their horror comics. Number 29. This is volume 5, number 5. And the cover is unknown. Satan's Warlock, 10-page story. Art by Marcioni. Redraw The Slaying of Joshua Sprague. Beware Terror Tales number 2. Text, believe it or not, 3 pages. Art by Burgos. Conjured by Larry Eugene Meredith. The Bloody House, 7-page story. Art by Torre Rapizo. Redraw She Shrieked with Horror. Web of Mystery number 24. Text, the premiere, 3 pages. Art by Jackson. The Ashley premiere by Eddie C. Burton. Monsters Nightmare, 7 pages. Art by Ayers. Redraw Creatures of the Swamp. Chamber of Chills number 22. 2nd printing. Reprint, Man Beast, 6 pages. Retitle, My Dear Friend, Dark Shadows number 1. Holy crap. From Dark Shadows number 1. 3rd printing. Okay. Reprint, Bloody Mary, 6 pages. Strange Fantasy number 10. 3rd printing. I think that Bloody Mary story is even in that Tales of Voodoo, volume 1, number 11, the 1st issue. But I digress. The Angry Vampire, 6-page story. Art by Fraga. Redraw Bloodthirsty, Mysterious Adventures number 21, 2nd printing. And this is the last one I'm going to cover in this video. With all this info, these videos, are taking a bit of time, so I'm splitting up my weird issues into 2 different videos. This is number 30. This is volume 5, number 6, from December 1971. This cover is a cobble. Horror Tales 970 plus Tales from the Tomb 470. So the September 1970 issue of Horror Tales cover is combined with the April 1970 issue of Tales from the Tomb for this cobble job. The Vampire, 7-page story. Art by Torre Rapizo. Redraw Name from the Netherworld. Web of Mystery number 17. The Corpse, 6-page story. Art by Macanio. Redraw The Corpse That Wouldn't Die. Web of Evil number 5. Evil Cat, 6-page story. Art by Castellan. Redraw Day of Reckoning. Out of the Shadows number 14. Weird Revenge, 5-page story. Art by Cassaday. Redraw Vengeance Trail. Weird Horrors number 6, 2nd printing. Text, Sacrifice, 5-page story. Art, Ezra Jackson. The Artist of Tao by Arthur Styron. Reprint, Werewolf number 6, Werewolf, 6 pages. Retitle, Little Red Riding Hood and the Werewolf, from Fantastic Fears number 8. And this is the 4th printing. Monster, 6-page story, art by Cassaday, redraw, Mark of the Brute, Weird Terror, number 11, second printing. Reprint, Dying is So Contagious, 7-page story, Haunted Thrills, number 14, third printing. Notes, a clean cobble job on the cover. It's nice to see some of the figures that were covered up by the blood splotch on the cover of Horror Tales September 1970, Cirillo Munoz, only original Pubs cover. The second illustration in the text piece is not drawn by Ezra Jackson, the other two are. It is reprinted from the same story, then called The Artist of Tao, as it appears in Magazine of Horror number 36, April 1971. More than likely, the illustration was used when the story was originally published in the October 1932 issue of the pulp Strange Tales from Clayton magazines. Okay, that's going to do it for part 1 of my coverage of my issues of Weird by Eerie Publications. Hope you guys liked the covers and, got something out of the info if that's your thing. So, see you next time with part 2.